right now, mobile is not a big part of the ad spend. Do you think it's as big as it should be, or is it not? Or where does it need to go in terms of, everyone talks about mobile first, but it doesn't seem like it gets really the first batch of the ad spend.
No, I definitely agree that it's sometimes it's considered, sometimes it's an afterthought, sometimes it's ticking a box. So my remit over the next little while is, for our business, is to make sure that it's not an afterthought that is thought of up front, but it takes a lot of specialists, it takes a lot of expertise to be able to do that. When you have a look on a global basis, depending on which country, and excluding things like, say, Google search that goes across platforms, so it goes on mobile, or say Facebook, where you're not booking it for mobile, it just goes across where the users are. The consumers are so much more in this space than the advertisers are. So a few % of global media spend is going into mobile, yet depending again on which statistics you believe or read as to whether it's the primary device that we're interacting with on a daily basis, whether it's overtaken TV, where it actually sits. But either way, there's it's very disproportionate between the amount of users are there, the amount of site traffic. We've got clients in Australia, in America, and on a global basis that are seeing upwards of 50% of their site traffic come through from mobile devices, and they're dedicating 1% of their spend towards driving people there. They're not optimizing their assets and making the most of that. So it seems as though possible reasons behind it is that it's kind of a new space where the IT teams need to play, the marketers need to play, sales. It's almost a new piece of infrastructure to get all your assets aligned that's taking a lot of clients quite some time.
And who are some of the, some of the really smart marketers in your opinion?
I think brands like Kia are very good at optimizing their mobile assets. Some of their work within America is pretty impressive. There are, again, some banks. I think CPG or FMCG are a bit slow to take it up, as are, interestingly, some of the media content companies, so film companies and music companies. When a large part of their business is actually through digital, they're not actually investing as much within mobile, especially at the moment. So there's pockets of greatness. There are a couple of brands in each category that are probably leading the way, but there's no specific category that's nailing it. There's no particular brand that is doing everything that they should. There's sort of pockets across the world. And
finally, this is a age-old question, app versus mobile web, and there's been some discussion that everyone ran into apps, but nobody, so many have been created, but they're so rarely used. They're not searchable in the same way. What are some of your thoughts in terms of your brands who want to do mobile campaigns? Do you encourage apps? Do you encourage a mobile web experience?
I mean, they're for different purposes. So an app is going to be far more tailored to what I need. It's going to provide a far quicker, richer, more seamless, easy to interact with experience. It'll know a lot more data about me. It won't require me to log in. But I'll need to download it. Whereas with mobile web, obviously I can access it from any time, anywhere. It can't plug into as many of the phone sensors and capabilities as an app does, but it's more ubiquitous. It's going to be a slower experience, but it's going to be everywhere. So there are pros and cons of both. They're not interchangeable technologies. Like beacons and NFC aren't interchangeable technologies. They are different technologies. They're in a similar space, but they have each of their own reasons. Some of the statistics on brands that are doing apps quite well, whether it's a Walgreens or whether it's Walmart, the uplift in consumer spend, sentiment, visitation within actual bricks and mortar stores, as well as what they're doing on the app, is substantial. So I think it's brands that have created an app as a one-off, left it dormant and expecting it to perform. They're probably the ones that are doing the worst, and the ones where, I as a consumer as well as a marketer, I would delete that app. If it hasn't been updated, everything else is ahead of it. There's new technologies. So I think it's coming in and realizing the amount of ongoing investment you need in these platforms, but then the return you can get can be substantial. So apps are important in many ways. Mobile web serves a different purpose at a different point in time.